There was good reason to think lawmakers this session might finally be ready to update the ethics laws that govern them. 40-plus freshmen came in ready to make good on campaign promises to get the part-time legislature to be more transparent.
There's been a couple of decades where we haven't made any changes, and so maybe this is the beginning of some other changes, some much-needed changes in our disclosure and our ethics forms.
It was a bipartisan effort that garnered the support of more senior members, too.
I hope people will feel like by the time this session ends, transparency is greater here in the Texas Capitol.
It did not take long for that feeling to fade.
I just know that when I was trying to make some changes on there, the resistance was mostly coming from elected officials.
Representative GIOVANNI CAPRIGLIONE, for one, proposed legislation that would require elected officials to disclose their business contracts with government entities.
For every business association that's in 11A, please list those that have government contracts with some exceptions, specifically that there's a $10,000 minimum.
When the bill itself failed to make it onto the House calendar, CAPRIGLIONE tacked a watered-down version of it onto the Ethics Commission bill and faced tough questioning.
I just want to make sure I understand this. You think that's a good compromise?
I think it is, yes.
Okay, so less transparency is good.
No.
CAPRIGLIONE's amendment was ultimately adopted by a slim margin, only to be stripped off the bill in conference committee, along with several other measures. One of those would have forced lawmakers to put their financial disclosure forms online.
I can remember sitting on the floor talking to senators about that bill, some of us talking about voting against the bill if for no other reason that one thing.
The few amendments that stayed on the ethics bill would require people posting political ads online to disclose who's paying for them and force railroad commissioners to resign if they run for another office.
I think this was a session of missed opportunities. I thought that when we first started the session, the mantra was about transparency, it was about changes in ethics, and I really thought that that's how it would come out. But I think the environment is such that it's difficult to work on those topics and really make changes.
There are always future opportunities, lawmakers say. In 2015, they'll be returning to the Capitol with the results of one ethics bill they could get passed, an interim study on the state's disclosure laws. Reporting at the Capitol, this is Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune.